So one little second part to this, we know that there's a sine, cosine, and tangent, like sine theta is the opposite over the hypotenuse, and cosine, let me do this in a different color, cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent theta is opposite over adjacent. Those are our three main trig functions, right? Well, there's three more, and they're kind of these evil twins called the reciprocal trig functions. And sine's evil trig function is named cosecant theta, or CSC theta. So sine, if we call it cosecant theta, it's just sine flipped over. It's hypotenuse over opposite. Whoa! Sometimes it's more useful, like in deeper trigonometry, you'll use cosecant more because you're using like the flipped over version of sine. And so instead of saying the flipped over version of sine, you say cosecant. Similarly, cosine has a reciprocal trig function called secant, SEC theta. So SEC theta, secant of theta is the hypotenuse over the adjacent. Oh, and tangent's the easy one. It's called cotangent, or cot. So cotangent theta is just adjacent over opposite. And we can use these trig functions. If you look in your formula booklet, sometimes they use cosecant instead of in a identities proof. So it's a little bit deceiving because I feel like sine should be linked up with secant, but it's not, right? So don't fall into that trap. Sine and cosecant are the same, but flipped over reciprocals. Cosine and secant, and tangent and cotangent. That's the easy one to remember. So we sometimes use them in identities. So like this. This is the first one in your packet. So that show that sine times secant is tangent. You say, okay, well, sine is sine. Oops. And secant is really this one, right? So secant is really hypotenuse over adjacent. Another way to say this is 1 over cosine. Yeah, same thing. This is 1 over sine. And this is 1 over tangent. So this is sine times secant, which is just 1 over cosine, which is flipped over that fraction. So this is 1 over cosine theta. I'm trying to show that that equals tangent theta. This becomes sine theta over cosine theta. Tangent theta. Hey, look, that's tangent theta. So tangent theta equals tangent theta. True. Cool. So with these bad boys, you can do some of the more challenging trigonometry identities more smoothly, because you can use this idea that secant is just 1 over sine, and sometimes we use that ratio more often in deeper trig. So enjoy.